Hey there. Hey y'all. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. We hear an ambulance. Hopefully they'll be okay. Wherever they're going, hopefully they'll be okay. There is an ambulance in the background, y'all. The music is loud. YouTube, do you know who that is? Because I don't mute unless it's real loud. Hello, happy Friday. Y'all know I wait a while if nobody's in the chat, but I'm gonna go ahead and put out what personalized and professional disclaimer. Over here in Line Scribe, we do not professionally, medically, or clinically what assess, okay, diagnose, treat, or evaluate. But what we do is we drop nuggets over here. We drop nuggets. Hopefully that'll help you get up, get off the couch and move. Get up, get outside and move. Get out of the house, okay? Get out of the house when it's not really, really horribly hot, when it's not freezing cold. Use that opportunity to get out of the house, okay? And get you some exercise in. Get you some cardiovascular activity in. All right, all right. Move those legs. Watch the legs move and be motivated to get up and move your own legs. You know, what do? We go over so many different ways you can get up and move, right? You can walk, You can run, you can jog, you can skip. If your joints will allow that, you can run, jog, skip, hop, jump rope, all right? Get up and dance. You don't have to leave home. You don't have to pay the gym for cardio. You don't even have to buy equipment for cardio, right? Get up and dance. Get up and walk around the biggest room of your house. Walk around every room of your house. Make so many laps. Get you a pedometer or a Fitbit if you like. Fitbits are the best. All you gotta do is throw them on your arm, okay? And they are a wealth of information. But just do something for at least a minimum of 30 minutes each day. There's nothing wrong with cardiovascular activity 7 days a week. What do we say? What do we say? Do not do anything that I say or do over here. We just drop nuggets. So anything that you do or say that I do or say, you do so at your own risk, okay? But we do want you to be active. I don't know a healthcare provider that doesn't want you to move in some way. Now, that being said, hopefully you're getting your regular checkups, your regular physicals with your what? Medical doctor, your primary healthcare provider, all right? Your physician's assistant, your nurse practitioner, your physical therapist if you need one, your occupational therapist if you have one, right? Your nutritionist, your dietitian, even your fitness coach or your weight trainer, okay? Talk to any and all of those people. Because what do? They form a circle around you. They are the atom and you are the nucleus. And you are the most important part of that collaboration. All right. So it's Free Bird Friday. It's the weekend. I know a lot of you guys are waiting for the weekend. But what do I say? Every day, soak up and absorb and just enjoy each and every day. Don't push for the weekend, right? Enjoy Monday the same way you would Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Enjoy them all the same because if God woke you up, that means that's a day that you're here, okay? And who's the other primary care provider? The specialty doctors. Don't forget your specialty doctors, okay? Don't forget them. Even when your primary care provider tells you something, your regular MD, if you have a specialty doctor, for instance, if you go to a rheumatologist, a neurologist, a cardiologist, or something like that, let them know what you're doing as well. Let them know what you're doing as well. Communication amongst the family is key. That's your medical family. Communication is key. Communication is key. And remember, you don't have to buy equipment. You don't have to go to the gym. Right? Right. Make your own stepper. Go outside, go to a curb, use this. Remember, use this. It just switches up what you're doing, right? You want to trick your body, work your body. Make sure you don't hurt your body. That's what you want to do. So for those that come by for a few seconds or a few minutes or however long you come by, I appreciate you because you don't have to do it. Right? We got to show appreciation because people don't have to stop for a few seconds, a few minutes, or whatever. And comment if you like. Drop nuggets if you like. Remember, we drop nuggets over here and we pick up nuggets over here. Sometimes people come into the chat and drop nuggets, inform me of things I didn't know or weren't aware of, and you do it for each other. And hopefully I can do it for you. All right? Get up and move. Help those numbers. Help that blood glucose. Help to try to stabilize it by movement, by fitness, cardiovascular activity. Try to get that blood pressure down some. Hey, you might not come off of your medicines, right? But if you're completely healthy, you're not on anything, hopefully moving every day of your life will help to prevent that. But look, if it happens, it happens. It could be hereditary. You could be the first person in your family, right? So if you exercise every day and those things still occur, don't throw exercise out the window, okay? Exercising can help sometimes minimize the severity of a condition, even when it can't prevent it. Okay, sometimes it can help, a lot of times it can help minimize the severity of it. So think about it, don't think about it long. Get up and do it. When you go to your next doctor's appointment, let him know that you've been moving. Now you need him to talk to you, and you guys need to come up with a workout plan, routine, regimen, something that will help you, whether it's to lose weight or whether it's for fitness, physical fitness, emotional fitness, spiritual, mental, emotional. Okay? If he's going to help you, and if he doesn't, he's going to send you to someone who will help you. Thank you for that thumbs up. You know, we have to acknowledge everybody, any and everybody. Y'all, you know, the cars and stuff, they're just a part of the environment, right? Can't mute every time, but when it's really, really loud, we gotta try. We gotta try and catch it. It's Freebird Friday, so we're free to talk about any and everything as long as it's informative, educational, motivational, uplifting. Talk about it. Talk about it. We can talk about it. Because again, why? Because we're dropping nuggets. Hopefully we're dropping nuggets that are beneficial to someone. And hopefully hopefully the nuggets that you pick up will work for you or for someone that you know, right? For you or someone that you know. And don't be so discouraged, okay? If something doesn't work, find something else. If something doesn't work, try something else, okay? Don't be so discouraged when things don't work out. Sometimes you gotta keep the goal, but find another way to reach the goal. Sometimes you gotta keep the goal, but find another way to reach the goal. And that's okay. Sometimes, like on social media, if your goal is monetization, sometimes you got to do it. Some people, videos work better for them. Some people, lives work better for them. Some people, shorts work better for them. So there are 3 different ways. Sometimes just sharing has worked better for them. Their content being shared. So for some people, they're on social media as a release. When they get off work, have something to do. When they're at work on their lunch break, have something to watch. There are so many different ways that people utilize social media. The financial aspect just happens to be a perk, right? It happens to be a perk for some people. It happens to be a perk. But the holidays are coming up, y'all, and don't rely on social media, okay? Now, some people can, and that's a magnificent thing. That's a great thing. But if you can't, don't worry about it. Like, sometimes it works. I hear people say sometimes they do good this month, this year. Last month they did better. 2 months ago they didn't do anything. Or switch that all up. This month they didn't do anything. Last month they did great. 6 months ago they did really good. So Don't stress yourself about it. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna pay your bills and feed your family unless you've reached a certain threshold, okay? Unless you've reached a certain status. So don't get so stressed out about it. Do what you can, like Miss Key Kitchen and More. She's working on her wash hours. So if you guys hear this live, and if you hear that name, check her out when she does her live videos and help her. Help her work on those watch hours. There are a lot of people who just want to be monetized. They don't want to be monetized so much because of the financial aspect. They just want it because it'll be an accomplishment for them. It'll be an accomplishment for them. So a lot of times that's the reason, right? Sometimes they don't even need it. Like, they don't need the monetization. But they would like to have the monetization because it shows that they've reached the goal, right? Most people, even those who don't really want to make money on social media, they love the idea of being monetized. And that's understandable. That's understandable. Some people, once they reach it, they turn it off. I've done that before. When I first reached it, I was like, oh, okay, it happened. Turn it off. As long as you're staying within the guidelines, you can turn it back on. For some people, it's just a goal. You know, we have different goals that are of different level of importance to us. So it just depends on how important it is to you. You know, it depends on how important it is to you. So once you've reached your goal, continue to climb and reach another one, whether it's in the same category of goal, you know, the same category, or whether it's something totally different. That's just not with social media. That's with anything. That's with any and everything. Once you reach your goal or goals, because a lot of people are working on more than 1 or 2 goals at a time. Once you reach them, that's the best feeling of accomplishment. So I hear people always asking other people, why aren't they monetized? Because they simply don't want to be sometimes. They simply don't want to be. I heard a young man say that he doesn't want to be monetized because he feels like he'll get too bogged down into worrying about the monetization. I had to turn that down, y'all. He'll get too bogged down into worrying about the monetization. So he, like a lot of people, he's like, I don't need that to survive. It does good and he appreciates what he gets. But he doesn't want to become bogged down. He said now, if he ever became unemployed and he had more time, then that would be a different story. And that's totally understandable. That is totally understandable because he's unemployed at that point. And then, of course, while you're looking for new employment, you have that extra time on your hands. If you're already monetized, why not focus on trying to do something with that? But for a lot of people, it's not as crucial as it is for other people. It's not as crucial. So, what are your goals? Like I said, for some people, social media is to be monetized. For some people, it's not to be monetized. It's to network and connect. Like they may have a business or two, and they may have a chat one day, a live chat, and nobody comes through. But then 2 weeks later, somebody leaves a comment on that video, on the replay of that live, and they make a connection. They make a connection. It could be a product connection. It can be a niche connection, like they do the same thing. One reaches out to another to see if they can do some things to collaborate and help each other. And some people don't like collaborations. They like solo dolo. And it seems like those people oftentimes are very, very successful, right? They're very, very successful. But the whole premise of any app, any social media platform, is going to be networking, learning, teaching, basically education, and just entertainment, simply entertainment. Some people, some people are on social media platforms for entertainment only, right? They come on here and it's a release from their regular activities during the day. It becomes a regular activity for them, but it's a release from work. It's a release from cleaning up around the house. It's a release from running back and forth, doing errands, dropping family off, picking family up. You know, it's just a release from doing the things that we need to do. So that's why some people are on here. And guess what? Sometimes those people, before they know it, they have enough people to become monetized. And they shoot for it. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. It's not a big deal. But oftentimes that's not even on their mind. It's just the entertainment. It's like the Copyright 107 says, entertainment purposes only. And that's why they're there. That's why they are there. Because some people come just, you know what? The best thing that social media, especially YouTube, can do for anybody, the best channels to watch are the do-it-yourself channels. Those do-it-yourself channels, they save you a lot of money. Hey, Chef. Chef Finest Wine says, what's up, sis? What's up, bro? You doing good since we talked. How you doing, bro? We had a blast. Chef says, hey, everyone. You know, the best thing that I see on social media that I really love are the do-it-yourself channels. Do it yourself. You can learn so much. Like, you can save so much money. You can save a lot of money. You can learn to do new things. You can learn to create new things. You can you learn how to make use of some of the things you have around your home that you thought were just there, but you just never really got rid of. I'm doing okay. I text you today. Check it out when you have time. Okay, I will. You know I'm bad about it. Bro, my family be fussing so much. I be like, y'all, I'm at work. I be at work. That's probably why I don't get it. But I got one auntie, she like, you weren't at work. It was Saturday, so-and-so time, and so-and-so. And I'm like, auntie, I probably was asleep. I was probably asleep. Okay, bro, okay. But yes, I'm gonna definitely check it when I get off here. But she be on me. And I'm like, I was probably asleep. I'm gonna get it. Y'all, this lady is so funny. She's just wobbling along. She's pregnant, and she looks like she's due any day. She looks like she's due any day now. So any day she's gonna have her, maybe a Thanksgiving baby. Because she looks like she's due any day now. She's just wobbling. And she looks just like so over it. She looks like she's just pregnant and over it, pregnant and ready to have that baby. Okay, y'all, she looks like she's just over it and so ready to have that baby. And I don't know, I think a lot of women, once we have our kids, we miss being pregnant. Not all, but a lot. Not all, but a lot. Once we have that baby, we miss being pregnant. We miss being pregnant. But you're so glad to have your baby girl or baby boy, or girls or boys. Sometimes it's more than one. Sometimes it's more than one. So a lot of times when ladies have their kids, they have their babies, they deliver, it's like they're so glad to finally, it's kind of like a catch-22. You're so glad that your baby is here. You're so glad that you've delivered a healthy baby. And you kind of miss being pregnant. Because let me tell you why. Some people won't, but when you're pregnant, that is a connection. That feeling, I mean, through it all, through the morning sickness, if you have that and all. I know people are just so over the morning sickness and they're so ready for it to be done, but you just miss it. That's one of that is probably the most precious bonding time that you'll have. Now, of course, once your baby is born, that's definitely, I say, if I want to rank them, I would say the most precious bonding time is actually carrying them. Because just like when they're born, you're nurturing them, you're feeding them. You have to make sure you're putting the right things in your body. You're having to take care of yourself. You're having to make sure that you avoid the bad things, the things that aren't good for you. And you have to make sure that you're taking in good foods, getting good sleep, avoiding alcohol, avoiding smoke, avoiding the things that, can cause issues, avoiding drugs, avoiding anything that you would normally do that you don't want to affect your baby. So I classify them as that being 1A and 1B once they're born. Once they're born. The whole life is a nurturing experience between parents and their kids, a mother and a child. Also a father and a child, but since I was talking about her being pregnant, I'll say a mother and a child. And you got to take care of them, you got to feed them, but when they're still in the womb, you don't have to change Pampers and diapers, Your body is doing everything it needs to do for that baby, right? And you're listening to good doctors, doing everything that you need to do for your baby, avoiding, again, those bad things such as drinking, drugs, smoking. I know sometimes people I've actually heard people kind of be up and down about the smoking. No, you don't want to smoke at all. You don't want to smoke at all. I know sometimes when people find it hard to quit cold turkey, and in the past, I think some doctors have allowed their patients or given them the okay to smoke maybe one a day or something like that. But no, you don't need that. You don't need that. If you've never been able to go cold turkey before, if you become pregnant, there should be a time where you should be able to go cold turkey. At least from the time that you find out, or the time that you even think, until the time that you deliver. Because that smoke, if that smoke does a job on the lungs of the person smoking, imagine, and the blood vessels of the person smoking, thank you, imagine what it does to an unborn baby. Imagine what it does to an unborn baby. This sun is beaming, y'all. I don't know if you can see the legs move, but if you can't, just imagine. Just imagine, okay? A lot of you guys email me saying watching the legs move is relaxing, kind of like a visual ASMR. AVMR. A AVMR. And I appreciate those emails. And I appreciate the cash apps. Y'all be generous. Y'all be generous. I do appreciate it. A lot of times people, they're gonna financially bless you through cash apps. And we know why. We know why. So never, ever fail to let them know that you appreciate it. Never fail to let them know that you appreciate it. Sometimes people just want to sometimes people just want to hear you talk. Sometimes people just want to hear you talk. They just want to see you walk. And listen, if you can walk and talk, that's great. That is the ultimate, okay? But if you can't, then just make sure that you're moving. Just make sure that you're walking. You don't need to talk if you can't. If it brings you any discomfort at all. If it makes you too winded. The most important part is what? The movement. So you want to move. Left, right, left. You want to move. And believe it or not, like I told you guys earlier this week, there is an art to good walking. There's an art to good walking. Walking in certain cadences helps you. It helps you. Having, in other words, having a certain rhythm to your walk, it helps you. My gosh. Having a certain rhythm to your walk, having a certain cadence helps you. All right? You want to make sure that you use those glutes when you walk, right? Use that bottom. Use that bottom. Come on, ladies. Y'all know y'all like to switch anyway, but we're not talking about really switching. We're talking about squeezing, okay? Squeezing those glutes, helping to take pressure off of those knees as you walk, right? Helping to take pressure off of those knees when you walk. Squeeze those glutes. And look, if it looks like you're switching a little bit, okay. It might help firm up those glutes too. Hold on, somebody calling? Yep. Yep. It's like you can be off of, you cannot be live all day and get either no to very limited calls, and as soon as you go live, you know one is going to come either right when you start, right in the middle, or towards the end, Remember, when you're waiting on traffic, keep those legs moving. Keep those legs moving. Y'all remember what I said? You can walk. Okay, the big craze, the long time craze of walking is beneficial for anybody. But that's not just it. Once you plateau with walking, sometimes you do get tired of walking. Get on your treadmill then and walk. Walk in place. Remember what Rock Just Living told us? Walk in place. Okay? Again, walk around the biggest room of your house, do several laps. If you feel like that's not enough, walk around several rooms of your house. Have a walking trail within your house. Have a walking trail within your house. Walk around several rooms of your house. If you get tired of jumping on the treadmill every day, if you get tired of jumping on the bike, if you get tired of jumping on the elliptical, walk around, make a trail around your home and walk that trail. Okay? For 30 minutes. 30 minutes to an hour. Look, you'll be cool because you don't have to be outside when it's hot. You don't have to be outside when it's cold. Right? You can walk in your air-conditioned home. You can walk in your heated home. And if you do want to go outside and you don't want to walk far because of the weather, then walk around the perimeter of your home or walk around the perimeter of your apartment complex. Switch it up, change it up, work the body. You need to change it up anyway, especially when you're doing resistance training. Especially when you're doing resistance training. The cardio, hey, if you stick with it and you do that one thing forever, that might just be your thing. That's good, that's okay, you're doing something. You're gonna benefit in some way. But when it comes to resistance weight training, yes, you might do bicep curls for 3 to 4 months. Change it up, work those biceps out a different way, okay? And remember, when you do any muscle toning, you always want to make sure that you tone the opposite muscle. If you do your bicep curls, make sure you do triceps Work on those triceps. Do some tricep exercises, okay? Some arm raises to work on those triceps. When you work these quads, make sure you get those back hamstrings. Strings, y'all. Hamstrings. I was about to say something else and just combine the word. But make sure that when you work on those quadriceps, that you work on those hamstrings. Okay? Hey, Shawanda. How you doing, Shawanda? Happy Friday to you. Happy Free Bird Friday. Happy Free for All Friday. What you got planned for the weekend, Shawanda? And when you move, and when you're on your bikes and your treadmills and your ellipticals, make sure that your cycle, make sure that you know what your cycle is equivalent to as far as mileage. Because some of them, people get on and they think that they've done 10 cycles. And it just depends on your machine, your equipment. Cycles doesn't always equate to mileage. Like one cycle doesn't really equal 1 mile. On some it does, on some it doesn't. So make sure that you're checking your equipment. Don't throw away those instructions, okay? Don't throw away the equipment manual. Because I noticed that some people just assume that a cycle means a mile. That's not always the case. So just keep when you get your equipment, for those that use equipment, keep your manual. Read your manual before even getting on it and doing anything. But then, I know sometimes you're just excited and you're just ready to go. But so make sure that you have your manual handy and close by so that you can know when you have questions, because you will have questions. And sometimes people feel like they don't have questions. They're under the misconception and they'll argue somebody else down about their equipment when they really didn't even read their manual to know. Some things they probably know. Some things are common sense. But a lot of times they didn't even read their manual to know if a cycle equals a mile. Right? It's kind of like when you're doing fractions. Right? 33.333333 is what? 33% in most cases. But if you're going to use it and break it down to calculate to add to something else, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit different. If it doesn't fall on the whole number, it's going to be a little bit different. So thank you guys for joining me on this Free Bird Friday. What we call it, Free Bird Friday, Free for All Friday. And look, if you see somebody doing something and you can help them out, help them out. Okay, help them out. If you see them and they need something, help them out. October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I always, the past few Octobers and this October, I always encourage people to do something for someone who's in the fight, whether they're actually in the fight themselves or whether there's someone that's helping them with the fight. Shawanda said, hey, everybody. I just spoke to Shawanda. Didn't even tell y'all. She said, hey. I'm sorry, Shawanda. She said, hey, y'all, hey. So help them. Buy them a meal. Buy them a bus pass if they need that. Buy them, pay for their transportation somewhere if they don't have it. Provide the transportation if you can. Provide them with a couple of meals. Okay? And you don't have to just do that in October. Do it all the time. Do it all the time. Do it anytime. Do it all the time. And do it anytime. And that's, that'll help the people who are fighting. And that'll help the people who are helping them to fight. Okay? There's nothing wrong with having some empathy. Empathy. You can be able, I was talking with a friend yesterday, you can have empathy for people you don't like, right? If you're somewhat of a kind human being, some people don't consider themselves kind and they like it like that. They like it like that. They say when they're kind, they get taken advantage of. Or if you're too kind or overly kind, the key to that is just knowing how kind to be and to who. Key to not being taken advantage of is knowing how kind to be and to who. That's the key to that. See, we're gonna switch it up, work different muscles just by going up on that edge right there. We're gonna work some different muscles just by going up on that edge. Still working leg muscles as we do some cardio. Yep. Still getting a little work to those leg muscles as we do cardio. You can do that at home. You can do it on your front steps, your garage steps, your side steps. People in this litter, I'm telling you, you can do that at home. So if you don't have equipment, don't worry about spending money until you have it. You know, once you have it to spend it, do it. But again, let's name about 10 to 15 ways. Walking, jogging, running, skipping, jumping rope, swimming, right? That's 6. Okay, that's 6. And most of those didn't require any piece of equipment. Okay, your treadmill, your walking pad, your mini stepper, right? You can go hiking. You can get out there and play a little touch football, tag football. It's the stop and go that works for the cardio. It's the stop and go that works for the cardio. Dancing in place, skating. I think we just named 15 things, y'all. I just named 15. I just gave you 15 nuggets. Okay? So if you're doing something and you have become tired of doing what you're doing, grab one of those nuggets and switch it up a little bit. Work your body. Work your body. Work your body. Work your body. All right? Make sure you don't hurt your body. And what do you want to do? Before, after, and in some cases during your workout. You want to make sure that you stretch before and after. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. That's for cardio as well. Before you get up and walk, before you get going on your treadmill, your stationary bicycle, you want to stretch, right? You want to stretch because doing so helps to prepare your body, those muscles, those joints, your mentality. It helps to prepare you for exercise, okay? It helps get you ready for exercising, right? Once you're done, what do you want to do? You want to kind of like decompress by what? Stretching. So find one of those words where you can kind of spell it the same way going forward that you can going backwards. Radar, right? R is for stretching. A is for warm up. All right. D is for your workout, right? A is for your cool down, and your R is for stretching. And just remember that at any time during your workout, you can stretch in the middle as well. Sometimes that lactic acid starts to build up and you start to feel stiff even though you're exercising. Just stop, take a couple of minutes, do a few stretches, and get back into it. Get back into it. And this is the weekend. Like I always tell you guys, enjoy every day the same. But yes, it is the weekend. For those who work Monday through Friday, you get a little bit of extra time to kind of just relax. Hopefully, you know, some people have second jobs, right? So it's like some people, they may work every other week. They may work a full-time job Monday through Friday. And they may pick up an extra job and, you know, work every weekend. Some people work every day. And some are like, wait, I'm going to pick up an extra job. But what I'm going to do is, so that I can keep my weekends, or at least some of my weekends, I'm going to work every other weekend at this place for a little bit of extra money to pay off maybe some extra bills, or not even extra bills, whatever bills that you currently have, you know, or to save money. So they do it to save money. So they'll do every other weekend. And some people are like, look, I want my weekends. I'm going to keep my weekend. So if they work 7 to 3 or 8 to 4, they go into another job from like 5 to 10, 5 to 11, 2 days a week, so that they still, they won't overwork themselves. It's just like you don't want to overwork your body when you're exercising. Sometimes people will overwork their bodies because, one, I don't know, they just have it in their head that they have to go hard for some reason. Maybe they have a goal, but even if you have a goal, you have to start someplace. And another reason that's not good is competition. Many people say they're only in competition with themselves, but their actions show that they're in competition with someone else. You cannot be in competition with someone who may have been a former athlete, okay? You cannot be in competition with someone who may have been exercising. The way that you see them exercising today, they may have been doing that for 10, 15, 20 years, and you're just starting, or you started 2 or 3 years ago. So it really is beneficial to only be in competition with yourself and nobody else. You got some people who are exercising for certain reasons, and those reasons are the way that you see them exercising. That reason may not apply to you. It may be a health reason. Some people have to modify their exercises, and whenever you're a physician, who most likely will send you to someone that'll help you formulate a plan, or formulate a plan for you, they're formulating that plan for you. So if you're seeing someone else with a plan, that plan has been formulated for them. Even if not by a professional, by themselves. Because we have to listen to our bodies, right? Listen to what your body tells you. When it says it's tired, that's too much, you need to stop. If you need to, just stop. But if you feel like you can keep going, just kind of slow down. Just kind of slow down. If you feel like you can keep going, don't stop, just slow down. Slow down. But yeah, if you need to stop, stop. If not, just kind of slow the pace. Don't walk as fast. And when you're walking, you want to do it briskly. That's why when I come on here, I don't have to walk as fast because I've already exercised for the day. My walk and talks are just times to go live. Got a YouTube channel, might as well go live. I don't do the things on the channel that I used to do. So it's a good time to go live and walk. It's a good time to go live and walk. It's a good time to go live and walk. You can, whether you're walking or working out for weight loss, whether you're doing it for mental health, because a lot of people are doing it for mental health, or whether you're doing it to just stay fit. You don't want to lose, you don't want to gain. Weight is not the issue. And maybe you're just doing it because you're bored. If you're bored, find something productive to do. If you're going to find something to do, make sure that it's productive and that it's beneficial. It benefits you. Thank you. So make sure that it benefits you. And you don't have to, when you're working out for I know if you're trying to lose weight, sometimes it's a little bit hard because you have a goal and you're focused, and you should be focused, but try not to be overly focused. Because sometimes when people don't see results as soon as they would like, they become discouraged. And believe me, I know, because there are many different things that you can become discouraged with when you don't see immediate results, or when you don't see results as fast as you would like to, as quickly as you would like to. Hello, Shahin. I don't know what that language is, Shahin. But I hope it's not anything bad. And since YouTube didn't hold it for a review, we're gonna rock with it, okay? We're gonna let it rock. We're gonna let it rock. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Watch the legs move. Look at the legs move. And again, because I've been leaving it out. Probably been saying it like once. Besides working that body, the heart is a muscle, just like all other muscles. You want that muscle to look nice and toned, don't you? That's what cardiovascular fitness does for your heart. But make sure you should be doing the things that you set out to do or that you plan to do. All right? Make sure that you're healthy enough to do it. And if you don't want to overexert yourself. So That's why you have to always consult your primary healthcare provider. Okay? Who are those? Medical doctors, CRNP, your nurse practitioner, your physician's assistant. Okay? If you've ever had any injuries, your physical therapist, your occupational therapist, they get you back on track. It's good to stay in touch with those people. Hey, lovely Samara. Hey, Lions Chat, how are y'all? We're good, lovely Samara. How you doing? How you doing on this Friday? And not only those people, you want to make sure that you stay in touch with your specialty doctors, okay? Make sure that they're all on the same page. Make sure that they're all on the same page and that you guys are communicating, okay? Communication is key. And whenever someone does help you to develop a plan to work out, they will give you ways to modify some of those exercises, okay? They will give you some ways to modify some of those exercises. The example that I like to give is when you're doing squats. If you know that you have hip issues, knee issues, your hip joint, your knee joints, you have issues with those, many of you can still do squats, but you have to do the modified version, okay? The modified version. Maybe the mini squats or the baby squats. And make sure that you have a source of support. You know, a table, a wall, a sturdy chair. Make sure that you have some support very close to you. How you doing, Samara? Lovely Samara, how have you been? I hope you had a great week. Wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Chef Finest Wine, my bro left. He said he'll be right back. You know what? He stays busy. He stays busy. Always moving around. Always doing something productive. And that's the good part. He's always doing something productive. So don't be a couch potato. You don't have to be the next U.S. Olympian, but don't be a couch potato. And change up your routine. You know, change up your routine. You don't have to share your routine. Like, I cannot exercise on here because I'm all over the place. I tell y'all all the time, every day I get up. Most days I exercise as planned. You know, Monday, Wednesday, upper body. Tuesday, Thursday, lower body. Friday, full body. And Saturday and Sunday, it just depends. I might take off. I might work out one of them. I might work out both of them. But if you're going to do upper body, give yourself a break on Tuesday. If you're going to do it Monday, give yourself a break on Tuesday and do it again Wednesday. Same for lower body. And when I do a full body, I don't go so heavy because that Thursday I've just done lower body. So if I were to go heavy, it would be probably with upper body because I've done Monday, Wednesday. I've had that break on Thursday. I've done Monday, Wednesday. I've had that break on Thursday. So Tuesday, Thursday, I get lower body. And I go a little bit easy on Friday if I'm going to do a full body workout. So it's just ways that you can do things, okay? There are so many different ways that you can do things. You just have to figure out what works best for you. You have to figure out what works best for you. It's been good. Tried Zumba again. Forgot how fun it was. Zumba is fun. So that means you enjoyed it, okay? You enjoyed it. Zumba is so fun. Zumba is fun. Zumba is fun. Yoga is fun. What else? Step aerobics. I don't see many people doing step aerobics. I see Jordan using his step. The J Jordan, if you guys know who that is, check him out. Check out Lovely Samara. Okay, check out, of course, my bro Chef Finest Wine. That's fam. That's fam. That's fam. That's my family. But you know, Zumba is so fun, kind of exhilarating. And then yoga is fun, kind of like relaxing. And then step aerobics is fun, kind of exhilarating too, but more of a kind of both of them, step and Zumba. They're both just exhilarating and just kind of get that heart rate up. another way to work on that cardiovascular fitness. So yes, it is fun. Zumba, I think a lot of people didn't realize how fun Zumba could be. Like, you have to just try it. Sometimes when people are looking at people do exercises, whatever form, whatever type, they think, that's too much. But no, it's fun. It's actually fun. Once you start, the more you do it, the more you'll want to do it. Now, some people will tell you, have y'all ever known those people or that person that just says that, like, they don't like to exercise? No ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? They just don't like to exercise. It's not for them. It's not what they do. Even when it comes to walking, it's like, they'll tell you something like, I walk enough at work. And actually, some people do. Some people do. Some people walk a whole lot at work. Doctors, nurses, some teachers, they'll walk maybe a little bit slower. But a lot of teachers don't get a chance to sit down. Or they don't get many chances to sit down. So instead of just kind of standing in place and letting that gravity pull on them in a stationary position, they kind of just constantly walk around their classrooms. They walk around their classrooms. So yes, a lot of people don't, they don't feel the need to go walking if that's going to be their form of cardiovascular exercise, because they feel like they get enough at work. But I still say it's a good thing to do, because again, it gives you some time to get that me time in. If you can walk and talk, again, that's great. But you don't have to. It's good to be able to just walk, because some people don't want to talk. That's their me time. That's their me time. I know I can lift weights, but more focus on getting my stomach down. Yes. Look, focus on that area that you're most concerned about right now. Especially if everything else is, good with you. Because like you said, you can lift weights and within a couple of weeks see the difference. Like, you can lift weights and within a couple of weeks, you'll see the difference. If you're consistent, if you lift weights for 2 weeks, every other day, I won't even say like a Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday, Thursday, just try an area of your body. Try your arms or try your legs. Every other day for 14 days. I bet you on the 15th day, you will notice a difference. You will definitely notice a difference. Now, will you be the Incredible Hulk? Probably not. Or will you be Tony? Probably not. But you will be toner, and you will notice a difference. And hopefully that difference will motivate you to keep on, keeping on, and keeping on, and keeping on. Yes, Lovely Samara, that's the stomach. Oh my gosh. Even some of the people with the best shapes. Now, the people with the best shapes, you could probably bounce a dime on their stomach. but you have a lot of people, and that's those who have had no work done. When you're really, really young, that stomach is flat. You don't even have to do crunches or any of that other stuff. You can eat what you want to eat because that metabolism keeps that fat falling off. It keeps it falling off. What do teenagers do? They get up in the morning, even when they're sluggish, even when they're late. But they got to get up. They got to go to school. They got to move around. Some of them are in sports, especially the ones who are in sports. So they're constantly moving. And even for the ones who aren't, they just go to school and they do their regular routine and they come home and they chill. They're young. They're young. Their metabolism is high. So they have those washboard abs. Okay? They have those washboard, yes. Lovely Samara, they got those washboard abs. But as you start to get older, look, and it's not like you're starting to get old. I'm talking about, for some, it's college age. You remember what they always talked about, that first year spread? If you go off to college, and sometimes people go off to college and they're little tiny little things, right? And they come home, they may still be tiny, but their parents and their family and friends, they're like, girl, I see some thick fineness going on. Like, they notice the little bounce, a little bit more weighty in the hips. But guess what? They still have those abs though. They still have those abs, lovely Samara. They still will have the abs. They notice a little boots in the boot tay. And some of them, now don't get it twisted, not all first year college students just, they're busy. It's not like they're just trying to eat junk. Because if you think about it, they probably eat no different than they did in high school. The only difference is probably they're not getting as many home cooked meals, especially if they went off to college. So they're probably still eating like they ate at home, but because they may not be getting as many home cooked meals, they're getting more fast food. And a lot of people call fast food no food, empty calories. And so they probably ate junk and stuff at home in high school, but once you get at college, you're still young. Now, because they need to do a study. Like, just take 10 women who go to college are the same, but it only works so much because you got genetics that'll play a part. Because some people from birth to 100 years old, teeny tiny, never had a problem losing weight because they never really gained a lot of weight. They just kept their size. Once they became an adult, whatever they were at 18 to maybe 21, they were that size, maybe they didn't gain any more than 5 to 10 pounds, other than maybe a pregnancy or something if they were women. The guys are going to typically gain some because of the muscle mass. They're going to gain because of the muscle. Muscle weighs more. Well, it doesn't weigh more, but a pound of muscle is heavier than a pound of fat. So guys are muscle bound. So they're going to have, even the ones who aren't the most muscular, who don't have the most muscular physique, they have more muscle than women. So, so even them, when they go off to college, they get a little bit, they put on a few pounds, and you see them again at 30. They may have put on just enough for you to notice the difference. Like, they may have put on just enough for you to say, oh, that's a man now. Like, when it was a teenage boy back when, or the young lady may have put on just enough to say, oh, she's a full-grown woman now. But then you have some that look like full-grown women as teenagers. So it's so funny. But the one thing I do know is that whether they look mature physically or as teenagers, or once if it becomes when they become like in their 20s, they still don't have that problem with their stomach. Somehow they still don't have that problem with their stomach until maybe their 30s. They start to notice it. Now, some people are different because, like we say, it's not, when we're generally speaking, because it's not for everybody. What we say is not across the board, right? Because you have some teenagers, they have issues. They have a big stomach. They may have weight issues. That's just people. Again, it boils down to hereditary, your genes and all this stuff, things being hereditary, your genes, your DNA, all that stuff. But even then, a lot of times it's a little bit easier sometimes for you young to get that stuff off than it is for us full-grown seasoned adults. Samara says, yep, it was true for me, laugh out loud, but I stayed in state, but I ate the good college food, but I was still walking. See, yeah, and that's what I noticed too. A lot of college students exercise a lot. So they got that going for them too. They might get a little spread, but ain't enough to notice, enough for you to college spread. Some get excessive, but some don't, because some exercise. Like, you can go to any college campus and just see them just jogging, running in the gym. So some, even though their eating habits may be a little bit worse, they may be more into fitness. A lot of college age kids are into fitness. So that's why when you see them, like, once they graduate, they maybe won't have put on as much weight as some others who don't really do anything. They just go to class, do their work, and go to sleep and party. They go to class, they do their work, they sleep, and they party. So you'll have some that they really get into fitness. So they got that youth about them, and so they're good. They're good. And sometimes it'll be, like you said, walking, jogging, they swim, they're in the gym. And especially if they're an athlete, Because if they're an athlete, they have someone else helping them to keep that under control too. They have a whole staff of people helping them keep those things under control. But then when they get in those late 30s and they ain't doing that stuff no more, like I said, it doesn't apply to all, but a lot of them, they'll start to pick up their weight, and they won't necessarily be chunky, but they're chunkier than them. They're chunkier than they ever were before. But what's so funny too is that though that happens, there is that segment of the population. It doesn't matter what they do, how they eat. If they're an athlete, they're small. They're always toned, or even if they're not toned or muscular, they're just kind of small. They're just going to keep that petite frame. They'll gain a couple of pounds. Like I said, you may see them in there, and they're like your auntie, your 50-year-old auntie that you've known or been able to pay enough attention to since you were 15, as far as what she looked like, her body type and all that stuff. Or your own mom or something. You got some people, yeah, they're bigger than their parents. So they're like, my mom has no problem losing weight. But me, oh my gosh. And you have some, they're bigger than their parents, some are smaller than their parents. But as far as just trying to keep the weight in check overall, you have some people who do really well with that. They do really, really well with that. They're able to keep it. You know, they may pick up a few pounds, like I said, but if you look at them and you knew them 20 years ago, they probably don't look like they weigh any more than 10 to 15 extra pounds. At 21 or 22, when you were in school with them or you last worked with them, they may have been like 120 pounds. Now it's like 20 years later, you run into them, there may be 100, they may be 140 pounds. And you're looking like, okay, he or she can't have gained any more than like 10 to 15 pounds. And then the person that's looking may have gained maybe 30. And they're wondering, how did they do it? How did they do it? Don't even puzzle your brain. Don't even worry about it. Don't even puzzle your brain about it. Don't even worry about it. It was many things. It was genetics. It was the genes, right? And it was what they did, you know? Some will tell you they didn't do much. But sometimes it's not what they did, sometimes it's what they didn't do. Sometimes people look at other people and they're like, what did they do? Well, maybe it's not so much what they did, it's what they didn't do. They didn't overeat. They didn't eat bad things. They didn't eat, you know, and not to say they didn't eat bad things or junk food, but maybe they didn't overeat, you know. Maybe they didn't overeat. So that could be what it is. Maybe they didn't overeat. Maybe they didn't overindulge. Maybe they knew how to keep it right and tight. Okay? Hey, Vanessa. Vanessa Smith, welcome to the live. How you doing today, Vanessa? Happy Friday to you. Vanessa says, hi, Lines Pride. Hi, everyone. So we just got to do what we can do with what we're given or what we have access to. We got to do what we can do with what we're given or what we have access to. And again, don't go and, you know, break the bank trying to buy all of that exercise equipment. Because a lot of times when you do that, I think sometimes people think that if they buy all that stuff, that they're going to use it. They feel like, there's no way I'm going to buy all of this and not use it. I bought it, so I'm going to use it. And guess what happens? It's just like when you buy a gym membership. Sometimes people feel like, well, if I buy this membership, I'm giving these people my money. I'm going to go to the gym. And guess what? A lot of them still don't go to the gym. Sometimes people buy equipment. They'll make their own little gym at home. And then they can count the times that they use it. They bought it for convenience, which is a good idea, or a great idea. But if they're not motivated enough yet, then they're not ready, they're not going to use it. Vanessa says, doing good, hope all is well with you. It is, Vanessa. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you coming to the live. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Just been talking. It's Free Bird Friday. Talking about any and everything. I talked earlier about October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You know, hoping that anyone who hadn't had their mammogram before October, that they got it in October, or whenever it's scheduled for them routinely. Just reminding people to have empathy, to kind of like, do things for people who may be a part of the fight, however they're a part of the fight. You know, whether it's the person or whether it's the healthcare team, you know, it's unethical for doctors, nurses, and any other healthcare staff to take money, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with buying them a meal, having something catered for them. You know, yes, they get paid. They get paid to do a job, but I don't know one person who doesn't appreciate a show of appreciation. You know, I don't know one person who doesn't appreciate a show of appreciation for the things that they do. Yeah, they went to school. Guess what? They get a check, but guess what? A lot of them, unless they got a full ride, they have loans to pay for. You think doctors are just bill free? You know, so they're not saying pay their bills because you can't do that. I mean, you could personally if you want to, but just treat them for being them, right? Treat them for being them. They chose that profession. That profession is needed. You know, some places there are shortages of doctors. There are shortages of nurses. So there are shortages of firefighters, police officers, or whatever. You're welcome. I'm glad you said I have to make an appointment. Yeah, yes, just make your appointment. You know, it's kind of like making that yearly OBGYN appointment. You know, you're like, okay, it's time. Go do it. Pray about it. Get it done. Pray about it and get it done. You're welcome. You're welcome, Vanessa. And I'm sure there were a lot of other awareness campaigns going on in the month of October. Just like I'm sure there's an awareness campaign for November. I think in November it's something about men's health. There's something about men's health in November because they call it Movember. They replaced the N with an M. I said an M. M is a consonant, right? Y'all see I'm about to get too technical. But when you say the letter M, it sounds like EM. So they replaced N with the M. So we're going to say because it's one letter. Okay. They replace it with the M and they call it Movember. And sometimes they have this little diagram of a man's mustache. And so I'm trying to remember if it's men's mental health month, the month of November. We're going to slow down a little bit slower, y'all. We weren't going too fast. We never go really, really fast. Because y'all, by the time I do these walk and talks, guess what? I warmed up. I've done my exercise routine. I've cooled down. And then we come on here and it's like I get more cardio in, right? Because you don't have to be Bugs Bunny. You don't have to go as fast as he would hop. But you need to be brisk. You need to have a little pep in your step. But guess what? If you can't, that's okay too. It'll come. So go at your own pace, as you should with anything when it comes to your body. Go at your own pace. If you're going to walk with a partner, and that partner is going to make you feel kind of funny because they walk ahead of you, it's going to make you feel like you're holding them back, that's okay. Just tell them, hey, you hang back here, and eventually you'll be able to walk at their pace. And if it's somebody that's a little bit slower than you, go ahead and walk. Stay within eyes distance of each other, and eventually they'll catch up to you, right? Eventually they'll catch up to you. And if you don't, that's okay too. And if it's that bad, if it's like really discouraging, then do it by yourself. Do it by yourself. Do it by yourself. If having a partner, sometimes having a workout partner can be great, but sometimes it can be, a little bit annoying. Sometimes it's not always a good thing to have a workout partner. If they're going to make you feel like, you're not keeping up, or if you feel like they're holding you back, sometimes it's just best to do it by yourself. So it's really nice. It's really nice and good and motivational to have a partner. But if it holds you back in any way, just do it yourself. Just do it by yourself. Again, that is one of the best times to get some me time in. Right? It's one of the best times to get some me time in. So you don't have to worry about keeping up with somebody. Because that's not the goal, right? That's not the mission. That's not the goal. Your fitness level, your health and fitness are your wealth, right? Okay. So don't let the mission be to keep up with somebody else, right? Let the mission be to do what's good for you. Yeah, it's so funny. I was trying to avoid the music without muting, but I might as well just mute because it's so loud. It's like you can't avoid it. And it was sounding so good to him. It was sounding so good to him. It was sounding so good to him. So we're just gonna slow all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. And again, don't overwork yourself, okay? Especially if you're just starting out. 30 minutes to an hour is good. You want to do longer? That's fine too. But you don't want to get to the point of asking, like, was that beneficial, right? There's nothing, if you want to walk all day, walk all day. You might get tired. But if you want to walk all day, walk all day. There's nothing wrong with that. But after so long, you're good for the day. You're good for that day. After so long, you're good for that day. Go home, shower, take a bath, bubble bath, whichever one you do. Get out of those clothes, get in some that are more relaxing, and chill out. How many of you guys chilled out yesterday? Like, I know a lot of people celebrate Halloween. So there were a lot of Halloween parties. There were a lot of costume contests. There were a lot of parties on the job. Like, you have jobs that celebrate Halloween now, just like they celebrate other holidays. Like, they have costume contests on the job. They may have a little get together, get something brought in. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I think it's gone. You know, they might have a little costume contest. They may have something for the employees' kids. If it's a job that involves kids, they have something for those kids. And, you know, they just make it fun. You know, there are a lot of negative things that are said about Halloween. But, I mean, sometimes people take things and just make it fun. They don't harsh on or harp on the negative things. You know, they try to make it as positive as possible. Sometimes people, I saw a couple of someones on YouTube, their jobs. They were talking about their jobs, and they were allowed to celebrate Halloween, but there were certain costumes that weren't allowed. You know, and of course, there's somebody going to complain. That they're going to say that that's taking the fun out of it. That's taking the fun out of it. But don't participate then. Don't participate. If you feel like that's taking the fun out of it, don't participate, right? Just don't participate. But if you want to have some fun, because for some people, that was just the day that they chose to wear jeans or something and just throw on a t-shirt with harvest decorations, leaves, fall, pumpkins, and stuff like that, or some cartoon character. So don't be a Debbie Downer. Y'all know on jobs and stuff, there's always a Debbie Downer. Like, there's always somebody who's not satisfied. There's always somebody who's not satisfied. There's always a Debbie Downer. But there's always somebody who, if you got a boat, they got a yacht. If you got a new 2-story home, they got a new 3-story home. Or their cousin or their sister or their parents or somebody got a 3-story home. It's like there's always that Debbie Downer. It's like if you have and have had a 5-story home We're gonna say 5 stories. 5 stories. You have an elevator and everything, right? And your coworker says that they just purchased a new home and it has 2 stories. Let them have that. Let them have that shine. Let them have that enjoyment. It's not that they're bragging. Like some could come off as bragging, but somebody may just be sharing their blessing. They just may be sharing their new acquisition of a new home. And then you come in and put your foot in the water, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I had 2 bedrooms when I bought my first house, but I mean, not 2 bedrooms, but 2 stories, but I got 4 or 5 now. Okay, what would you like? A purple cigar or a blue one? Like, like but now, it's like, let people have, and I mean, if it's the person that's coming in talking about a new acquisition, and that's that person that's always bragging, always, I know sometimes people might take be a little facetious and say, "Oh, really?" And they might not even be telling the truth. They might say, "Well, I got a 10-story house. I just bought that last year." Sometimes people they get a little bit tired of the bragging. But I'm saying, even if they are bragging a little bit, like, if they're not the person that's bragging about everything every other week or every week, if they come in and say that they just acquired a new home, just purchased a new home, and they're telling you about it, the dynamics of their home, be happy for them. Like, maybe ask them a question or something like, "Wow, how much, just not how much was it, but how much of a difference do you see now that you have like a 2-story home compared to a flat home that you previously had? Like, I know that you wanted it because you purchased it, but like, since you're in there, are you noticing? Are you like really glad?" Ask them about it. Ask them what makes them happy about it. Vanessa said yes. Like, ask them what makes them happy about it. Maybe even ask them certain, things about the blueprint, because you may want one later if you don't have one already. But the last thing they want to hear, especially if you're the person that does this all the time, because they probably already know you have a 5-story home, right? Or if you got to go outside and brag about somebody else's, "Well, my sister has a 5-story home and she just bought that last month." Well, that's your sister's home. Congratulations to your sister. That's your new neighbor that had that home built. Congratulations to your new neighbor. It's like some people just can't say, "Oh, that's great," like, and just ask you some real legitimately good questions. Or maybe just make some good statements. Like, they can't do it. They can't handle it. They can't do it. They can't handle it. They don't want to do it. It's crazy, but they can't do it. They cannot do it. Some people cannot. You know what? Some people can't take compliments. Some people don't take compliments well. And I have more empathy for them because sometimes people who can't take compliments well probably haven't been complimented often. You got to think. Sometimes people think with a one-track mind. They think just because you did something, it means something negative. Or it means that you meant something bad. Or something. Like, there are so many different reasons for doing what you do or for being the way that you are. Like, some people truly just cannot take compliments because, one, maybe they were never complimented. So when they do get compliments, even as an adult, as a child or something, they rarely got compliments, maybe. So now that they're an adult, y'all know I be nosy. Now that they're an adult and people are complimenting them, maybe they're a bit bashful, or they feel a little bit embarrassed sometimes even. Some people just can't take compliments, and it's not for a bad reason. It's not, how do I say not a bad reason? Because if you've never gotten complimented, your parents never complimented you, maybe even your grandparents never did it, you maybe had that one auntie or that one uncle that would from time to time. And so since it was them, if you didn't see them regularly, you didn't hear compliments regularly, right? So you never got used to it. And you've grown up not having people compliment you, but you've seen other people be complimented. So when somebody does compliment you, it's kind of like a person in a bad relationship. If they've had a couple of bad relationships, unfortunately, when they get a good one, unfortunately, if they've had a couple of bad ones, when they get a good one, sometimes they don't know how to really accept the goodness, you know? Sometimes they don't really know how to accept the goodness. So you may have someone who will receive a compliment and they may not even say thank you. That grinds my gears. When you compliment somebody, but then I have to start thinking about it sometimes. Like, because when something happens like that, guess what? If it grinds your gears, it kind of gets you a little perturbed, right? So why let it fluster you? That's like water off your back. Like, so what if they didn't say thank you? Even though that's the, logical thing to do. That's the right thing to do. You got to think about it. If you're a compliment, maybe they haven't received many compliments before. And maybe every time they do, not to say they've never had, but when they do, they're kind of bashful. They're kind of bashful. And maybe even if they say thank you, they still maybe kind of soak in their chair a little bit, kind of scoot down a little bit. They kind of blush, or they kind of, they get a little bit embarrassed in that way, even through a compliment. Then you have those who can't give compliments. You have those who cannot give a compliment for anything in the world. Like I was just talking about the house. You get a new house. They may say, or the compliment is so short that they're on to questioning you about, well, did you get this or that? And if you say no, oh, you should have did this and you should have did that. It's like their compliment lasts all of 2 to 3 seconds. And then their ridicule lasts for 10 minutes. Yes, but it's like the compliment lasts for 2 to 3 seconds. And the critiques or the ridicule lasts for 10 to 15 minutes. And it's like, really? Really? So some people truly do not know how to give compliments. And I guess that's why a lot of people, like women, a lot of women say that they like to compliment other women. Because that's something that's like not done a lot, or not, it's done more now that people are just kind of have brought attention to it over the years, but it's still not done as much as people being criticized. Giving compliments still isn't done more than giving criticism. They still give more criticism, they critique more than they give compliments. So, you know how that is. Yep. Or look, they give a compliment, and as soon as the person walks off or is no longer there before them, they snarl their noses. It's like so fake. The compliment was fake. Some people can't compliment you so much to the fact that when they do give a compliment, it just sounds fake. It sounds fake. But that's just it's like you start to get to a point in life where it's like you notice it, a lot of things that you notice, but you can't get mad about it because it is what it is. People are different. People are people, and people are different. Many of us are not the same, but many of us are alike. Many of us are more alike than others. Many of us are totally different. Many of us are different, but not so different. It's just people. Like I like to say, people be peopling. People be peopling. Okay? It is what it is. People be peopling. Sometimes they people in a good way. Sometimes they people in a bad way. Sometimes they people in a neutral way. Like, it is what it is. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't excite you. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't excite you. And that's why y'all know what I be saying. Don't let bothered people bother you. Don't let bothered people bother you. Sometimes people can do the slightest thing and it'll bother the heck out of somebody. Like, even if it's not anything behind it, like even if it's not meant to bother you. So don't let bothered people bother you. And don't you bother anybody. That's just the best way to be. Like, don't let bothered people bother you. Don't you bother anybody unless they bother you. And make sure that when they're bothering you, make sure that you're careful of the response. Sometimes people aren't bothering you in a bad way. Truth be told, sometimes they're not bothering you in a bad way. Sometimes people just want to talk to you or ask you a question or tell you something or maybe even give you a suggestion that may help you. That's another thing. Some people can't take suggestions. Like some people can't take compliments. Some people can't take suggestions. A suggestion is just that. It's suggested. It's not written in stone. It's not put down in stone that you have to do it, that you got to do it. It's just something that could possibly help you out. At the most, a suggestion shouldn't hurt you. So as long as it's not something that's going to hurt you, there's nothing wrong with the suggestion. Now, if it's a suggestion that they've beat over and over again, a person keeps telling you 1,000 times, then yeah, you will become a bit perturbed. But if it's just a suggestion on how to cook something, you don't have to do it. Do it, try it. If you like it, you'll be glad of the suggestion. If you don't, it was just a suggestion. It was just a suggestion. So some people don't know how to take compliments. Some people don't know how to give compliments. It burns them up to give a compliment for some reason. And it's not written anywhere that you have to give one. But if, like I was talking about, the employee comes in and says that they purchased a new home, if they're talking about it, and if everybody who overhears it says congratulations or good for you, just something like that, high five, why you got to be the Debbie Downer? Why do you have to be the Debbie Downer? Like, just don't say anything instead of saying something negative. Everybody usually knows who's the hater on the job anyway. Everybody usually knows who's the hater on the job anyway. So just don't say anything. Like, what did our parents say? If you can't say something nice, then don't say anything at all. Can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. But sometimes you just feel like you just gotta say something. And if you do feel like you just gotta say something, especially when you probably normally wouldn't, just make sure that it's a good suggestion. A good suggestion. A good suggestion. Something that'll help somebody. Or maybe let them see something a little bit differently. They may do it, they may not. You don't even have to like them. You don't even have to like them. I was talking about me and my friend talking yesterday. You don't have to like a person to have empathy for them. If somebody you dislike, just because you dislike them, you can't be empathetic. Y'all may not be the best of friends. Y'all may be enemies. But if you have a degree of humanity about you, some decency, you can empathize with things. Hopefully. Some people can empathize with certain people and not others. That's understandable, I guess. So we're done, y'all. It's been an hour and a half. Thank you, Vanessa, for coming in. Vanessa's laughing. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, lovely Samara, my brochure finest wine. Shaheen came in. Shawanda came in. Shawanda always stops by and shows support. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming through. We're just strolling and scrolling. Because the walk is done. The walk and talk is done for today. The walk and talk is done for today. Y'all, these people that get to blowing their horns at each other. Oh my goodness. You're welcome. Have a good evening, Last Pride. Thank you, Vanessa. You have a good evening too. Have a wonderful weekend. And remember, what? Don't bother people, okay? And don't let nobody bother you. Don't let people bother you. Don't let stressed people stress you out. Stop letting stressed people stress you out. Or stop letting people who don't mean anything to you stress you out. Both of them. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And as usual, if you find yourself in a misery lounge, grab your grip and go. Get up and get out of there. You don't have to stay in there. Whether that's somebody else's channel, somebody else's page, or whatever platform it is. You don't have to stay there. Sometimes people, they say misery loves company. But guess what? Sometimes people aren't really miserable, but they like making other people miserable. So they'll come as wolves in sheep's clothing, get you into a situation, make you think it's all good. Y'all, that's the ugliest car ever. All that loud music. Y'all hear that? I gotta go in the opposite direction. He got all that loud music blasting. And the car looks like I can't even say on YouTube what the car looks like. I can't say on YouTube what I want to say the car looks like. Okay? So yes, if you find yourself in someone's misery lounge, grab your grip and go. GYGAG, grab your grip and go. Get up out of there. And if you find them in your place, in your space, in your lounge, put them out. Let them go. You don't have to let them stay. You don't have to let them stay. The apps were made for a whole lot of positive things. But of course, because we people be peopling, there are a whole lot of other things going on. So again, thank you, Vanessa, for hanging in there with me to the end. Thank you, Shawanda. Thank you, my bro, Chef Finest Wine. Lovely Samara. And Shaheen, Shawanda, and the people that came through, especially early on, that were just walking with me. I appreciate you. I will see you guys on the next Let's Walk and Talking Lines Pride. Bye, y'all. I'm not about to click the end button yet, but we're done. We're done. Watch the legs move. Look at the legs move. Walk, 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 walk. Move. Most importantly, move. You don't have to walk. You can, but there are so many ways you can walk, and you can do a whole lot of other things. Go back through here and see what we said you can do, okay? Just keep moving. Keep moving. Consistently, and be persistent about it. Keep moving. Y'all remember to get you some good walking shoes too. Don't be out there walking in those cheap shoes. Okay? If you gotta walk in cheap shoes, look, there are certain things, even when you're financially strapped, there are certain things that you should definitely invest in, you know. And shoes, think of it this way. If you need them to walk, or if you walk to work, if you walk, you know, if you do a lot of walking at work, think about how it feels when you're doing all that walking. So even when you're exercising, you need good shoes. Okay? Y'all know at the beginning of summer maybe, I decided to try the Hokas because I'm a New Balance person. New Balance and Nike, but more so I love New Balance because New Balance for years and years and years were great shoes that were just designed for walking. They weren't all about the glitz and glamour, the color and the cuteness. They are now. You can find a lot of them that are really cute now. But just get you some good walking shoes. Good walking shoes. I like Skechers. But if I'm thinking long term and you're really going to put those miles on them, get you some good New Balance or those good pair of Hokas. Some people say that Cloud works well for them. Get you a good Nike walking shoe. Something like that. There are about at least 4 good brands that, you know, if you don't want to pay over $100, there are some that are just under. Okay, there are some that are just under. Those Asics, Sauconys, so I think they're like $50 now. I don't know if the quality is what they used to be, but those, the Asics, Saucony, and New Balance were great walking and running shoes. Okay, so get you some good shoes. And if you do have to just get something cheap, make sure you get the good inserts. The good inserts. Now don't think that those inserts are gonna make those shoes last forever. Okay? Don't think that the inserts are gonna let those shoes last forever. Once you put those inserts in there, you should start to think about getting, because you can put inserts in a brand new good pair of shoes, you know. But once, if you haven't been using them, once you start using the inserts, once you get them in there, don't forget about it. You still need you a good pair of shoes, right? If you have to get some that are kind of inexpensive, cheap, get you some inserts. Dr. Scholl's, there are a lot of other brands too that are good. You can Google that. Remember, when we drop nuggets over here, no matter how big or how small, Google reputable sources. Google reputable sources and find your information, and also take that information to you with you when you go to your doctor. But for as far as shoes, you know, find out which ones work for you. You know, try a couple if you can. Get about 2 good pair and see which ones work for you. And if you already have that pair that are good walking shoes, just get you some new ones. What you don't want to do is you don't want to wear cheap ones and wear cheap ones for a long time. And even if you put inserts in them, once you put inserts in them, especially if they're cheap, you already know that you need a new pair of shoes, basically. Right? Don't just keep putting inserts in those shoes that are just wearing and wearing and wearing and wearing and wearing and wearing down. No matter how many inserts you put in them, you'll get to a point where you're basically walking on inserts, because that heel would be the sole of that shoe, the heel, and all that stuff, it'll be right? So if you get a really, really good pair and you put inserts in those, just like they're gonna last longer anyway because they're better, think about inserts in good shoes. They're gonna make your good shoes last way longer than they're gonna make a cheap pair of shoes last. The way I walk, $160 pair of shoes, they last a long time, but you start to notice the difference in probably like 6 months. I've noticed the difference in 6 months. So, especially if I'm not switching, like the Hokas that I had, I don't switch those shoes. Those shoes are so comfortable. They are so comfortable. I'm finally starting to notice the difference in them. So I switched up into my Nikes that I thought I threw away that were good shoes, and I ended up finding them. But those are good shoes for me and my feet. So you have to try the shoes out. Sometimes you get a little mad because you may buy a pair that don't work for you. Hey, have a yard sale, get rid of them. But find some good ones that work for you. And when they get old, replace them sooner rather than later. Once you know that they're getting old, especially used, or it's not used, but cheap ones, go ahead and get those inserts. But realize that the inserts don't make the shoe new, okay? They don't make the shoe new. It gives you a little bit more time to walk on them until you get some better ones. So I'm done now. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. For those of you who have to work, have yourself a wonderful working weekend, okay? You can still have a wonderful weekend. Have yourselves a wonderful working weekend. And I will see you guys on the next Let's Walk and Talk in Lions Pride, okay? Where you may see walking and talking anywhere else, but we do it the Lions Pride way over here. Bye, y'all.